Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host Chris Dices, and we're here with the most exciting part of the year, which really could be with 2020, is the financial results of the past year for Nintendo. Yeah, well, it finished up on March the 31st, but today, on May the 7th here in Japan, that they did reveal this information, and we're going to go through them, all 23 slides, not in total detail, but you get the gist to give you an idea of how Nintendo's going as a company. All right, let's have a look. So this is the end of financial year results here. The risks with the COVID-19 is impacts on parts, production, shipment, consumption activities like events, I guess, research and development, and foreign exchange fluctuations, which is a very interesting one. I'll show you later on. So, their financial highlights, they've gone up 9% in sales. Operating profit is 41% increase, but the net profit is up 33.3%, up from 194 billion yen to 256.6 billion yen, which is good to see. So things are looking well for that. The sales here that we're looking at, the dedicated video games, as you can see, it still makes the majority of the money. But the mobile stuff has gone up by 11%. You really think that maybe they should be making more money from here. That's still, I mean, it'd still be a lot, but it's not nowhere near the actual video games and stuff like that. So that includes income from smart device content, which is not a lot. I guess Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing is keeping that together. And no, this does not include Pokemon Go, I would say, because that's the Pokemon company. So, number one is based on downloadable content, download-only software, and Switch Online stuff. Sorry, I sound like I'm dying here. So the gross profit has gone up by 28%. Variable factors, comparisons. So the proportions of hardware sales, 52%. That's gone up to 82%. So all pretty good by the look of that. Operating profit's gone up by 41%. Research and development is interesting. It's gone up by 20%. So they're doing a bit more researching. The advertising has stayed the same. So that's interesting. They haven't really spent more money on advertising in general. So the foreign exchange, the non-operating exchanges, including foreign exchange losses, which is huge. Look, that 2,500% increase. That's the COVID-19 impact there. But the profits have still gone up, probably mainly because of Animal Crossing. And the exchange rate, you see there's been some fair losses, down by 5 cents there, down 5. And it will probably continue to get worse, I guess, over the year before this whole pandemic thing is over one day. It's like asking how long is a piece of string for that. Forecast is set to be 22.7% downward spiral for their profits. And operating profit, ordinary profit, and things like that. The hardware is set to go down to 19 million. They're expected to sell, and 140 million units of software to be sold. Business highlights. Pokemon Sword and Shield has sold 17.37 million copies. Animal Crossing, it does say here 11.77 million units, but it has gone up another 2 million to 13.4, which I don't know that covers the whole of April, but if it does, it's still a good number. Everyone just bought their copies really, really quickly, and digital sales up too. So that's really good. So 27 titles, including 8 Nintendo titles and 9 titles by other software publishers, have hit 1 million sales. iCard 8 has sold another 8 million copies in the past year. That's why you will not see a new release of a Mario Kart game, because that thing sells itself. The Switch family sell-through, by the look of it, the current is 33% increase for Japan, 20% increase for North America and Europe. has a 19% increase. So that's a big increase in Japan. It could be because of the Switch Lite. It could be because of Ring Fit Adventure, because that was a really popular game. But the numbers look pretty decent by the look of it. A nice increase by the look of those things. And the sales are based on the light readers for the Switch Lite. So the Switch Lite has done a pretty good job, I would say, in terms of sales. Animal Crossing success. This is the first 6 weeks, which is basically, it came out March the 7th, so it's up to the end of April, I would say, and that's not counting the first 7 days of May. Obviously, it's a bit hard. It has dwarfed the sales of Wild World and New Leaf. So there's the lifetime total sales. That is a huge number. That is a huge number. The Perfect Quarantine lockdown game, and they striked it when the iron was hot. Who thought that this would ever happen? So basically it's 13.41 million sales. None of the other Animal Crossing games could ever get to those numbers. We thought that selling 3 million the first 6 weeks was a pretty good thing for Animal Crossing, but I think Animal Crossing has now reached that level, like Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, where you might expect them to really just sell 10 million every time plus. So digital sales has gone up 71%, which is good, because that's what they need to do, is grow the online digital market. 70% downloadable versions of packaged games, and 30% download only software add-on and Switch Online. So that's sort of taking up that 30% of that area, which isn't too bad. Announced that title releases for the next year is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Editions coming out, which will be very good. Clubhouse 51 Games Worldwide Classics, June the 5th, 2020 in Japan, that game there. Fighters Pass Volume 2, the expansion pass by the end of June and the fall of 2020. Continuous release updates. So that's interesting they put Animal Crossing there. It looks like they're really going to be supporting that because of how well it's selling. Mobile content was not really big, but the additional monthly subscription service large increase in active players. No surprises by that. Normally it's the mobile phone games that pushes people to buy Switch games and consoles, but it's doing the reverse effect. So they might have to rethink about how to do mobile games. Maybe they do the Switch game first and then the mobile game later on, or vice versa. Mario Kart Tour had the multiplayer feature and more of 1/3 of sales in the US. So I guess it's not too bad. Their expansion initiatives is Levi with their clothing, which looks pretty decent, I say. It's not too bad. And the Lego Super Mario, which I think will sell pretty well. I think a lot of Nintendo fans and some Lego fans like it. I think the Lego fans are complaining that it's not a traditional box, but traditional, Lego setup. But that's not how Nintendo rolls. $1 million sellers, or the big ones. So Mario Kart has crossed, by the look of those numbers, you add the units in 10,000. That's 24 million has sold. You've got 1.7 from Pokemon Sword and Shield on this map. You also have New Horizons. Obviously, that number's a little old. Luigi's Mansion has done, I think, 6 million. This is a little bit confusing here. So this will be in the last year, isn't it? Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey 1.7 million. Because it says Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it says it's only sold 5 million, which doesn't look right. That doesn't look right, some of those numbers. Alright, well, I'm not getting the actual chart correct. Live to date sales, yeah. Oh no, I was looking at it wrong. It's Super Mario Maker that's got the 5 million and 1.18 million for Smash Brothers. So that's still a big number. Breath of the Wild, 17 million. That's just phenomenal for a Zelda game, because they don't sell as well as your multiplayer games. Fire Emblem Three Houses, that has sold 2.8 million. Feels like that's a disappointing number for Fire Emblem. And 2.9 million for Ring Fit Adventure. Huge lack of stock, but that's still doing well. And 11 million for Let's Go Eevee, which is pretty good. Key indicators. That's all the different proportions that they think will make money, which is not that exciting. Digital sales, there's their indications there by the look of it. Summary info, that's probably nothing at all. And wow, that's a lot of info there. Launch dates of the primary stuff, all the different dates and times. This is all in the past by the look of it. Upcoming Switch publishing games. Bit hard to see from here. XCOM 2 collection is coming out. Borderlands Legendary Collection and Bioshock. They're all pretty interesting games. Love to see what their numbers will be. The Outer Worlds will be cool. Minecraft Dungeons is another one coming out. Moving Out by Team 17 is out too. Streets of Rage 4 is out, I believe, now. Trial of Mana is going to be good. Elder Scrolls Blades will be interesting to see how that goes as a game. And a few other games that will be coming out too. So I think we are pretty much done with that. I've gone on for 11 minutes, so that's not bad for me. Normally I could ramble on a bit more about that, but looking at everything, things are pretty rosy for Nintendo, especially with the Animal Crossing release, but what happens afterwards? Will people keep buying these evergreen games? But what they're doing, I think, is they're getting people to buy Animal Crossing, all these new people who are buying it, and then showing off all these older games and go, hey, you should get Breath of the Wild, you should get Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, all these other games that always sell so well. So they're trying to get them to buy all these other games, and they'll keep making money off the software. So that's important too, not just the hardware. If the hardware is suffering because of production issues, and they can lean on their software more. And they've got the best software on the Switch to really do that, and all the great indie games as well. So it's a really great combination there. So I think that is all I'm going to be talking about these results. But do let me know in the comments what you thought of the video and how you think Nintendo's going. So well done to Nintendo on those sales, and we shall see what will happen in the future for them. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.